This part is going to be filled with some random tricks and hints that I feel like you might not have kind of really figured out even based on the other projects we've done. Quite a few steps in this are exactly the same as things we've done already. For instance, I've already cut the ear out of the bat photo the first time and moved it over to the bunny. First, I'm going to show you how to duplicate the ear and how to rotate it and fit it on the bunny a little bit better. As you can see over here, I already have a couple layers with the ear I've posted and the bunny who's in the background. So all I need to do to make a second ear, you're going to want to just cut and paste it once, is right click on the ear layer, which I would actually go ahead and change to ear 1. Right click on the ear layer, duplicate layer, and now I'm going to change this to ear 2. It's going to be right over the top, so use the selector here, or the arrow tool, and if you move it, you'll see you now have 2 ears, ear and ear 1. Now once you have the second ear, you can see this, one needs to be flipped the other direction. Remember, as you can see, as I'm trying to move different parts, you really have to be careful on this one because there's going to be quite a few layers. Make sure if you're trying to work on one of the ears and not the other, make sure you're in the right layer. So I need to put one of the ears here, one of the ears here. This one is facing the wrong way. So I'm going to use the distort tool. There's other ways to flip things around, but I'm just going to simply use the distort tool and kind of fit it to his head. You want to sort of make it look, it's the ear on this side of his head versus the one that's going to be in a little different perspective. You want to avoid things like stretching it out so it looks super fake. You can play with it a little bit, but you sort of want to leave the proportions somewhat even. You're also going to want to reshape the other ear so it fits on his head just a wee bit better. It seems like it's just a little bit too big. In this project, I like to leave a little space for his little nugget in there. And again, trying to think about the perspective of this ear being in the background and this one being a little more in the foreground. Now, once you have the bat ears in place, all you need to do is switch to the background, use the eraser, and go to town on the rabbit's ears because we don't need that part anymore. Be a little careful here. We want to keep some of the hair. And later I'll give you some hints on blending them in a little bit better. You'll also need to flip the mouth around using the distort tool in the same way. Once you have the ears and mouth in locations where you're okay with where they are, you're going to need to merge the layers so that you can blend them in with each other. Because right now it doesn't look too bad, but if you look at it, we are not going to have a definite hard line here. So also, again, a reminder, when you're working in these different layers, remember that if you want to work on the mouth layer, you have to pick the layer with the mouth, the right ear versus the left ear. Also remember, you must save this as a PXD file. If you do not save it as a PXD file while you are working on your project, you will lose the layers. So to merge these together, all you have to do in the layers menu, you're going to want to right click and flatten the image, and boom, the layers are all together. And anything you do, since they're all the same layer, we only have one background layer, you can change all of them all at the exact same time in order to alter them together. This part of the video might take a little bit longer, and I'm probably not going to finish just because, it's going to take me a good 10 or 15 minutes just to do this section. So if you can kind of see here, I've already done a little bit of work. I'm blending the mouth. I've merged the layers. I'm working on blending the mouth in with the fur in with the mouth. I can already tell you this is my first draft of this. Doing this here on Tuesday night, the day before we're going to do this. I did this project last year also. I'm redoing it now just to to make these videos. And I can already tell you, I am, maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow morning, but before the end of the week, I'm going to go back and do this again, just because I know it will be much better second time. So to blend, there's many ways to do this. There's many tools to do this. This is just the way that I found to be effective for me. And you might want to try this. You might want to then try doing other things. First, I used the smudge tool. A smudge tool can be very, very, very powerful. It can be it can just draw. You want to be very careful with the power of the smudge tool. I'm going to turn this down quite a bit. And you might notice I'm also zoomed in as much as I can so that I can only alter a few pixels at a time. So the strength is quite a bit down. The brush is quite small. And I'm just going to kind of gently, it's not doing much. I'm going to do a few passes going back and forth, blending the dark color into the light color. I've kind of found it's a little more effective. It makes the line a little less obvious. If we go this direction and blend the lighter fur, I'm going to turn the strength up just a little bit, the lighter fur into the ear, it just makes it a little less, yeah, that's better. Just makes it a little less harsh. And this is going to help us make it not be quite so obvious that these ears aren't really going, so the straight line is kind of going away. Now be sure, try not to smudge all the way from over here. Try to just do the smallest strokes you can here so it gets rid of that hard, obvious line. I'm then going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to use the clone stamp tool. And again, very, very subtly, make the brush just a little bit bigger. Now it's smeared together a little bit, but you can see the fur texture is gone. I'm going to make sure I'm to the point where I can see the fur. I'm going to copy. I'm just going to very gently, just one little click, trying to keep the same color fur in the same general area. Drawing over the smudged part, not too much into the ear, just to make it look a little bit more natural than before, so that when we back up here in a minute, it's going to look like, actually I'm going to turn the opacity up, and you can see how much, I know some of you get frustrated with these projects, and this is the second time I've already done this tonight, and I hope you can see, it takes me some time too. It takes going back, it takes experimenting, it takes doing things over, it takes saving early and saving often so we don't lose progress, and it just takes some time to do a good job and make it somewhat convincing. Now, if we just kind of compare the ear on the left here that's fixed to the ear on the right, I know it's real subtle, but oh gosh, it blends in so much better. So hopefully these hints have helped you with what you need to do to make the Rabbat look pretty slick, and we'll be working on this till the end of class Friday.